Motorrad Thailand for the first time, where we've got everything from an S1000RR Superbike, BMW GS, F900. Let's go take a look. Oh, that sounds good. So this is the BMW R12. So think of this as like the classic super naked of the day with BMW. It's an air-cooled engine, so you notice it only has one radiator, and that is to cool the engine oil. You've got massive Brembos up front, so you've got lots of stopping power. The front forks are made by Meeyaradee, and they do dampen quite well. You've got an LED light unit up front, LED lights all around, which is good. BMW redesigned the engine, so the cylinders got a different look to the previous generation, which was the R9T, and the paint finish is wonderful, really, really good. Lacquer looks really smooth. The shaft drive has been redesigned. You've got about 110 horsepower, but being a massive BMW engine, you've also got a lot of torque. So they're also new upgrades. So you've got cruise control as standard, heated grips as standard, and notice that the only thing that matters is the speed. It's just the speed, nothing else, just the speed. So this one is the same, but in a green colour. Different wheels on this one. So you've got like this aluminium inserts here, and they do look pretty good. And also the forks are gold, which is different. Would have been nice to have gold on the red version, because this is exactly the same. But yeah, just different colour scheme. So you can tell the engine is also a bit shorter at the front, because the front cover for the clutch has been redesigned by BMW. But yeah, air-cooled, so very cool looking bike, really. And you can take a pillion as well if you want. And what's interesting is, look at that, these aluminium stylish sort of things going on here. Got this nice section here as well at the back. And then look at that, you've got two readouts. So you've got your speed and your rev counter, whereas the red one only has your speed, which is different. And then cruise control, heated grips, and yeah, very cool. This one is the aluminium version, definitely more expensive than the standard R12. So same aluminium inserts in the wheels, but look at the tank, it's aluminium, or at least painted aluminium, and the frame is red, so it makes quite an impression, really. And you've got that aluminium rear section as well, which is pretty cool. You got cruise control, heated grips, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it definitely does make more of an impression compared to the green and red one. But the only thing I really don't like are these mirrors, bow-end mirrors. They are, if you're maneuvering the bike, really annoying because your hand bashes into them. And actually, if you look at the original mirrors, actually give you quite a bit of information. They look fine, and they are aerodynamic, so yeah, people will say this looks prettier, but actually when you're maneuvering the bike, all these do is get in your way. Look at this. This is pretty interesting. So this is the original BMW R9T, and this is the naked version. So again, back in the day, an engine like this would be a super naked engine. Think of this as a classic super naked, because air cooled, harking back to the past, and you've got a whopping great big BMW air cooled engine there. Shaft drive, so no chain to maintain, which is good and practical. And it's interesting, and you see the differences where there's a lot more wiring you can see here, and then you go to the next generation and it's like, ooh, it's looking a bit tidier. But yeah, LED light up front, like that touch there. And you notice that the scoop is gone as well. Interesting. 110 horsepower, so plenty of power, plenty of torque. But if wind protection is a problem for you, then you're wasting your time. Don't buy something like this. If you want wind protection, you need fairings. But really pretty looking bike. So this is the BMW R1250. The difference with this one is that it is the Triple Black edition. What does that mean? Everything is black. The body panels, black. The tank, matte black, grey sort of. And me personally, I don't get on with that because it's more expensive than the much prettier, much more beautiful gold and blue version. But hey, same electronic suspension, it's quite advanced, single-sided swing arm. You got a liquid cooled 1200cc engine, so it is a very fast super adventure bike. And TFT display, keyless entry, and also keyless for opening the fuel cap. And you get all the luxuries, heated grips, cruise control. Yeah. This is the BMW R18 Transcontinental. This is designed to cross countries. Shaft drive. And what's interesting is what BMW have done here. So this is a hark back to how shaft drive used to be. So modern shaft drive, you got rubber seals, rubber boots, whereas this is all exposed, but in a modern design, so it's quite reliable. And you get this beautifully stitched seat, air cooled, 1800cc engine, so a lot of power, a lot of torque, and a massive TFT display with dials, with heated seats, with cruise control, and a lot of chrome, which back in the day was expensive. Chrome was considered very expensive, so it looks good. This is considered the R1800 Classic. So it is a super naked cruiser. There's no wind protection, no fairings or anything like that. So if you're worried about buffeting, why are you looking at this? You want to be looking at a bike with bearings. But massive panniers on the side, shaft drive as well, so no chain to maintain, and a lot of power, a lot of torque from the 1800cc engine. Really beautifully well built, a hark back to the past, and you get things like heated grips, you get things like cruise control, LED lights all round, so that's really, really good. And it has a lot of presence, and you do notice that the engine is quite low down. The reason why BMW did that is to try and make all this weight manageable. But you can see it still has crash guards. But yeah, wow. this one is quite interesting. BMW F900 GS. So pretty much different body, and the suspension is jacked up on this one. It's slightly taller. And very powerful Brembos up front. They're not monoblocks, but they still got plenty of stopping power. And it's very GS, isn't it? Do have LED light up front, LED indicators, which is pretty good. These BMW twin cylinders are rock solid. They're actually quite fast. They do sound good if you can get rid of this section here. But apart from that, red frame, very GS, very tall up front. So you will be able to off-road quite easily on this. It is lighter than the 1250. Very cool. And this one. So it's exactly the same, but the colour scheme is different. Love the gold wheels, they look really good. And GS colour scheme. So blue, white and red. And it does look better from every angle. You do get a acroprolic silencer on the rear, but remember this is going to be Euro 6, so it is not going to make this engine sound that much better. It will only make it sound a tiny bit better. But you have quick shifter as standard, which is always really useful. Brembos up front again. These engines, pretty rock solid. 900cc. LED indicators, and then GS up front, quite tall, straight handlebars, and LED light up front. And this is the GS Adventure. So the difference here is that what BMW have done is they have added extra fuel tanks on the side, so you can get more fuel in here. And it's interesting, so different LED light cluster up front, spotlights are standard, and yeah, very tall. TFT display is standard, so that's pretty good. Keyless ignition, and then cruise control, and I believe heat grips are standard somewhere. Oh yeah. It's good looking adventure off-road bike. You do have electronic suspension front and rear, so you can change whether you want the dampeners to be softer or harder if you want to. I would leave it at just the factory settings. Cool. Superbike. So this is the BMW S1000RR Superbike. BMW Superbike. Over 200 horsepower and a lot of torque standard. This is designed for over 200 miles an hour, so all the fairings are aerodynamic, they're very slippery, and that is just gorgeous to look at. It's exotica, it's a work of art. Everything about this is race bike. So even the rear, you've got the seat cover as standard because no pillion's going to be on the back of your superbike. LED lights all around, quick shifter as standard, and electronic suspension, TFT display, cruise control on a superbike, heated grips, BMW Motorsport colours as standard, and it is just a work of art from every angle. So this is the BMW F900 XR. This is the third version, so what that means is you're going to get a lot more wind protection on this one, which is very useful. So what it means is that you get a more comfortable, less tiring ride, because the fairings are taking the buffeting away from you. And you got like electronic suspension, which is really good. You've got red shock back there. Beautiful black wheels. Even the valves, you see that? That is more expensive to engineer in the tyre, because it means you can just take your tyre inflator and just dock it onto that. Where most motorcycles, actually that valve was pointing that way, and it's just a bit trickier to get to. But yeah, it's a good looking bike. LED lights, LED indicators, and monoblock Brembo. So this is the BMW S1000RR Superbike, BMW Superbike. Over 200 horsepower and a lot of torque standard. This is designed for over 200 miles an hour. So all the fairings are aerodynamic, they're very slippery. And that is just gorgeous to look at. It's exotica, it's a work of art. Everything about this is race bike. So even the rear, you've got the seat cover as standard because no pillion's going to be in the back of your superbike. LED lights all around, quick shifter as standard, and electronic suspension, TFT display, cruise control on a superbike, heated grips, BMW Motorsport colours as standard, and it is just a work of art from every angle. It's the same. The only difference is the colour. This is the green option, and yeah, it's an interesting looking super adventure bike. It doesn't stand out as much as the blue, white and red, but still good looking. And this has the option 709 on the cylinder heads, so that's why you've got the covers look a bit more beautiful, a bit more interesting. And then you've got gold wheels as standard of that. Quick shifter is standard. Aluminium machined parts here that look good, but you're not going to see them when you ride the bike. And super adventure, so over 140 horsepower, and in gold handlebars, TFT, big display. They're very tall, you're very up there. Yeah. And this one is the BMW R1300. This is the latest generation of the GS. You get massive monoblock brakes up front. They're not Brembos, but they are the best equivalent to Brembos. So they're very powerful. It looks like it's machined. It looks really good. 2 radiators as standard for the engine. Liquid cooled, LED lights. You've got quite a bit of power, quite a bit of torque. These are very, very fast super adventure bikes. And you can see the differences. So the clutch basket, the clutch has been completely redesigned, the cover's completely different. So what BMW have been able to do is basically take the clutch and move it forward and really compact it, really make it a lot smaller than the R1250. And wow. This is a BMW scooter. Interesting, you do get monoblock brakes up front. They're not Brembo, but they're fine. This is a very comfortable bike. So you have like scooter style seat, GT. So you notice things like, look at the seat. It's got that, it's Alcantara sort of styling here, stitching as well. So just little details like that that tell you this is a BMW. But then you've got as well nice rear light cluster, really cheap to run as well. TFT, really good fuel economy because it's a tiny little engine, and you've got menus here, and yeah, it is interesting scooter. This is the BMW CO2 electric bike. Yeah, not ready for that yet. Very expensive electric bike as well. But that's what it looks like. You got a tiny display over here, but it is like a LCD unit. You've got heated grips as standard on an electric bike. Got LED, everything. Single sided swing arm, but isn't my cup of tea. Definitely not. The seat doesn't look. That feels like quite a hard seat as well. Yeah, it's very tricky to say. Would you buy this? I don't think so. You can get like a coffee area, so you can have a sit down, you can take a breather, sit down, have a cup of coffee. Nice. Get a coffee and a banana and chocolate. BMW Motorrad, BMW Experience. There's a really nice one, and they're very welcoming here. Thank you, BMW. BMW. And it's a really nice experience when you come here. So you've got BMW, you know, like riding a motorcycle, riding a super bike, an S1000RR, going out exploring, and then you're greeted to this.
Hello everyone! Nice to meet you, okay?
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much, okay, bye.
That is BMW Motorrad Thailand. Thanks for watching. If you watch this video,